Ranveer Singh equals energy. With SuperYou, everyone sees the brand is designed around his brand. So it's loud, it's bold, it's full of energy.
You said you made a Godfather kind of an offer.
I said, in a filmy way, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
So what is that offer? Tell me.
So, you think consumers are consistently rational, but we're all very irrational because we operate from emotion more than logic. So this idea that a Coke would, go very well with pizza. Who made this rule? Chai biscuit. The idea that with chai you have to have a biscuit. And that's an imagery that's been built. So that classic thing of jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai.
I grew up drinking looking at Sachin Tendulkar. If I was that same kid today, I'm not touching that shit. No celebrity is supposed to come and promote a false product. But in the food industry, when brands like and this and all of that, it should have been banned. I don't think they care.
No, I disagree. Because every brand cares only about one thing.
Hi Nikunj, welcome to the 1% Club Show.
Thank you for having me. Looking forward to this.
So Nikunj, we've been seeing your brand SuperYou everywhere. And recently I just read in the news also it has crossed 100 crore annualized revenue.
Yeah.
Which is a significant milestone in 1 year you've been doing this?
Yeah.
Right.
We launched November last year.
Right. It's just 1 year you've been able to hit 100 crore revenue kind of a brand. So I thought it is only fair to call you here and ask you exactly how you're doing the things that you're doing. And you're just 33 years old and at such a young age, you're doing all of these things. So let me first start off with what was the genesis of this idea? A lot of people have good ideas, but they're not able to act on it. So how did this idea begin of starting SuperYou?
Yeah, sure. So I think, I'm very passionate about health and fitness and I always have been.
Okay.
My experience in terms of work has been for the last 12, 13 years has been in the FMCG industry. And I worked in the packaged foods business. So I got a lot of exposure to building brands in that space. And I just found the consumer space very exciting. And I think I decided then that, okay, look, that's the space that I understand best. That's what I've spent the most amount of time building. And then why not try to find some way of combining these two, what I understand from a business dhanda point of view and what I'm really passionate about. And then slowly, one piece of the puzzle kept coming together around 2022 or 2023, around that time. And then on parallel is also how Ranveer got involved. Because I'd had a conversation with him while playing basketball about this idea.
How did you play basketball with Ranveer Singh?
So we ended up playing a lot of sports, lives in the same society. And because of that, I was having a chat with him and I said, I think there's this exciting idea and I'd love to share with you. And
I think what you said you made a Godfather kind of an offer.
No, I
From
said,
what I heard
I said
media.
In a filmy way, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
So what is that offer? Tell me.
No, it was just primarily around the opportunity to be a co-founder in a business versus being an ambassador.
And at that point, Ranveer was not a co-founder in any business?
Not in its truest sense, not in the way that he was. With SuperYou, the world sees that it's hand in glove. Because the brand is designed around his brand as well, right? So it's loud, it's bold, it's there, it's full of energy.
Yeah.
And I remember one slide in my presentation actually just had that Ranveer Singh equals energy. And, if you ask, so I think Ranveer has a very sharply defined brand. And that was something that was very exciting to build on. And he understood that as well. And realized that, okay, that's a great opportunity. He's very passionate about the space. And he kind of saw that and said, okay, look, this sounds interesting. So why don't you send me what you have in mind? And that's when I sent him that thing. And he immediately got it. And then he said, okay, let's speak more about that. And then obviously we had multiple conversations. And I think the more we spoke, the more both of us got excited by the idea. And then we formalized things and then...
So did he also put in money? He invested money as well?
Yeah, so he's an equity owner as well. So he's in the truest sense a co-founder of the business. He's been involved in the
But
first
usually,
conversation.
Usually, when a celebrity comes on board, they usually come for a single-digit percentage because the brands don't really give them a lot. So here, is it in double-digit percentage?
So so it's in double-digit percentages.
Okay.
And I think I keep trying to like say this, but I've not found the right words to describe it. Like, he's not someone we got on board. He's part like of the first cell. Like the first thought of the idea. He's been a part of that, and he's been a part of it in the form of a co-founder. So everything from naming to branding and packaging to which product we should launch first to the first film, the campaign that we did, to even today getting involved in like, let's send samples to X, Y. His family is super involved. They've tried all the products. So it's not a classic cliched brand ambassador and here's some sweat equity kind of.
Okay. And how often do you discuss numbers and have meetings with them?
So we discuss, so we chat on WhatsApp a lot.
Okay.
So that there's regular communication on that.
Nice. Must be cool to text one of the biggest Bollywood stars of the country who's also your business partner.
Yeah.
What a life.
It's cool.
So tell me some unique insights you've learned about the Indian consumer behavior, which most people would not know in terms of our buying patterns. And don't just stick to your industry. You can tell me other industries also, because you've had a vast experience of working with Future Group as well. So some unique insights you've learned, which most people would not know. They'll be like, wow, really? We really do that? Like, tell me an entire journey of how we behave from January to December.
So I think consumers have different POVs on this. I'll tell you like one interesting insight was, you'd think consumers are consistently rational. But we're all very irrational because we operate from emotion more than logic. In certain spaces, logic trumps emotion. So like, let's say if it's a big finance, like a very, very large ticket item, you'd kind of think through a lot more, versus for small ticket items like 50 rupees and, a snack here and there, it's very impulsive.
Correct.
So that classic thing of jo dikhta hai, wo bikta hai, right? So half the thing is just being spotted at the right place. Because if the consumer just sees you, there's an opportunity to buy, right? So in a retail shelf, where you're placed is everything, right? Are you placed at the eye level and, that whole science that exists with retail. So I think a lot of consumers operate primarily from irrationality and from emotion. So I'll give you a small example. In the Big Bazaar days, I'd just come back from college and I spent 6 months working in the Big Bazaar stores. And I used to do everything in the stores. So selling, merchandising, everything. And at that point, there was this mop. It was called the Magic Mop. We used to sell it for 999. I think it still sells for 999. It's a superhero product. And
it's the one which automatically
rotates
and
when you press it.
Rinses the water automatically. Correct. That, yes.
So that one. Now imagine this, okay? The brand that we were selling back then, for some reason, made 6 colors. Okay. I don't know why, but they made 6 colors. So now I'm in the store. Big Bazaar used to have this thing called Sabse Saste 5 Din, where the rush in the store used to be crazy. Like I cannot explain it. You wouldn't have space to stand, okay, in the store. Now in my head, I'm thinking, in these days, the customer's going to come. They're going to pick something. They know they want to get out of here fast. They'll just choose anything, whatever they can grab first and move on.
Like a Black Friday sale.
Correct. But here we had customers who would say, no, show me the green color. The green color might look better in my house versus the blue color. In this rush, we're sitting and opening one pack and showing them, okay, color. And in my head, I couldn't make sense of it. I was like, listen, what difference does it make to you? But I think people have their own nuances, right? Like there's this customer who's thinking, no, I want it to look good in my house. Like I care about it. If I'm going to use it, I want it to be a certain color. So I think there are many things like this that
give me more examples. This is interesting.
So, like again, during IPL, one of the classic things is everyone tends to watch games together, right? And certain foods are like, they go very well. So the neuro-linguistic programming that's done of chip and dip, a bunch of friends sitting with chips and a dip, having maybe a beer or a Coke or something, and then watching the game, right?
Or like chicken wings and dip.
Correct. So we all have that. We have that some imagery that we built around, right? Exactly. So chips. So I think chips then sees a big surge, and that's why people do these party packs, right? So like these 80 gram, 100 gram packet of chips, because you know it's going to be a bunch of people sitting and sharing and eating, right? So people will create packs. I'll tell you something very interesting actually, which is around this neuro-linguistic programming, which is around subtly integrating into consumer what you want them to feel when they think of your product, right? Even before or after consuming it.
Okay.
So I don't know how true this is, but this idea that like a Coke would go very well with pizza. Who made this rule? Like, I can't think of having a pizza without a Coke or some carbonated beverage for some reason, right?
I think it was Domino's who...
Yeah, and that pairing consistently, right? So in Big Bazaar days also, Coke wanted to do we used to sell frozen samosas. So Coke had reached out to us to say, we'll do the entire marketing campaign, but you give a Coke free with every frozen samosa. Because they want the consumer to think that whenever you have a samosa, you should have a Coke as well. Now, all of this, they subtly keep doing. As consumers, you don't even realize that it's made its way into your mind, but you will, it just happens. It's very, very subconscious, right? So
they're tapping onto things which are anyway selling a lot, like pizza, samosas,
and
KFC,
multiple things like this.
People are anyway eating a lot, so they want to tag along with that and create that neuro-linguistic connection.
So chai biscuit, the idea that with chai you have to have a biscuit.
And a sutta.
For some, exactly. But for a lot of people, it's that imagery, right? That you'll go have a cutting glass of chai and then cigarette in one hand. And that's an imagery that's been built, right? So I think a lot of these things happen subconsciously. So I'll give you the example that we've also done very consciously.
Okay.
When we launched the protein wafer, we didn't want it to be linked to a protein bar as a cliched consumption that only after the gym you can eat this. So Ranveer is a muscular guy, right? He's built.
Yeah.
In the entire launch, even though we're talking about protein, he's not flexed his muscles or shown his muscles even once. Because we don't want that imagery of muscle with this product. Right?
Otherwise, it'll be just limited to...
Because it gives you that feeling that, oh, if I'm that kind of person, then this product is for me. Versus the imagery that we've made with Ranveer is he's just sitting, enjoying, eating the bar and smiling. So the only thing we did is we ensured that every time he's eating the bar, and not only him, in all our other content, if other people are eating it, they're smiling while eating it. Because it's a delightful experience. It's not about like, get 10 grams of protein and you'll become like super sane, right? It's a very delightful experience. And that's what we want you to know, right? That sound when you open again, we've spoken so much about Coke, but that sound when you open a Coke, it's designed for that because it makes you feel like, thirst is quenched. Now, whether it quenches your thirst or not is secondary, but in your head, it's quenched your thirst, right? So I think there's many like such examples.
So these are all the learnings of brands which have been doing trial and error and experimentation.
Because it's never about product alone. It's about product with the 360 of it.
So
the
this
experience.
comes under branding, all of these things?
Yeah, branding, marketing,
product
advertising.
Branding and all of that. Interesting. Any other brand which does it really well, apart from Coke in India? Some brand that you look up to?
I can think of like Fevicol. So for example, they never show their product in their ads. They just show like these bizarre situations where, everyone is just stuck to something, right? Like 1,000 people on a small bus, but somehow everyone is there. And then you'll see this small thing. It somehow made the message in your head that it will hold things together. They've never had to show product ever in their ads. And I mean, if you look at some of the other brands as well, they've all done such a great job.
So these are brands which have huge budgets and they will obviously hire an advertising agency like an Ogilvy or someone to make all these things, right? But for somebody of your scale, what do you do?
So I don't think it's like that. Everyone thinks it's about budgets, but it's about deeply just understanding that the product alone is not the experience with the consumer. It's everything. And hence you have to think beyond product as well. So when we started, we didn't have budgets. I don't have Ogilvy-like budgets, by the way, not even today, right? But we very consciously thought about this.
So if you had to rank product, marketing, and supply chain in terms of order of importance for launching a D2C brand in India, how would you rank them?
Again, I can give a rank for the sake of giving an answer, but in my opinion, the thing that I've learned is everything needs to go hand in hand. It is literally that. Yeah?
But
if
what
one element also goes out of balance, it
everything goes off.
Causes chaos everywhere. It's
But-
like, imagine removing.
But where do you put most of your time, if I may ask?
So it's changed. Earlier, when we launched, it was everywhere,
Okay.
right? Then after some time, I figured, so we have this hiring principle, which is hire people smarter than yourself, right? In those specific fields. And I think I've been able to get some really good folks on, right? And I get out of their way.
Do they ask, will I get to meet Ranveer Singh? Then I'll join.
I mean, so that's
there.
they've met now. We did a 1-year celebration. He came down to the office.
Amazing.
In full Ranveer Singh style, full power energy, just like took the roof off, right? So I think that's, of course, everyone does that, but they're also so excited by the idea of what they're building. So I'll tell you something interesting. There's a lot of people in the team who now refer to SuperYou as their brand. So even while talking to me, they'll say, this is how I want my brand to be positioned, or this is where I see my brand to be, etc. Right? Which I think that kind of ownership then to me means get out of their way. Let them do what they're doing.
Right.
You've hired them for a reason. So I think, just coming back to my point, like I think multiple pieces have to come together, and they have to come together in sync at the same time. Because otherwise it's not impossible, but it just makes it harder.
So the way I look at it is that, see, you built a great product, right? You built this protein wafer. Now, once something starts really working in the market, there will be copycats. So it's very easy for somebody to copy what you've done. I don't know how easy it is, but it is possible if they put their money into it.
It is.
So once two companies have same products, then the only thing differentiating them is the marketing part, right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't you say marketing is actually more important than the product because you get copied easily?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
Because look, a consumer, see, you have to think of all of this from the consumer's lens.
Okay.
Right? And a consumer is not buying a product just for the sake of buying the product. It's not buying it as a commodity, right? You're eventually buying into a brand because you believe in the brand for X, Y, Z reasons.
Sure.
So for example, I would argue that, let's say shoes, running shoes can get commoditized. Everyone can make effectively the same 5,000 rupee shoe. Why do you buy Nike versus X? Why do you buy Adidas?
I'll answer. For me, it's because Nike is working with, let's say, a very famous footballer or a very famous cricket star who I admire. And I'm like, if he or she is wearing it, I also need to have it because it's the feeling that I get. Like, for example, the Michael Jordan shoes, right? It sold out getting billions of dollars because everybody loves Michael Jordan. So they bought his shoes. So I will not buy any other random Chinese knockoff because Michael Jordan is not associated with it. So this comes under branding and marketing and positioning.
Yes, but I'm only trying to say that it's not the only important thing, because Nike still has to create great product again and again, because they're going to lose out if they stop doing that. It's like BlackBerry had a great product at a certain point, right? But then they couldn't capture the customer's imagination.
So that product innovation should not stop.
Absolutely. The moment you snooze, you lose.
No, but in your industry, you don't need to really innovate, right? Like, for example, what I'm trying to say is that let's look at Munch, for example. They've not really changed Munch. If I look at one of your competitors, Whole Truth, their energy bar, that has not really changed. The formulation is still the same. So once something has worked in your industry as a SKU, there's no much effort needed to keep innovating that product, right? Now it's just about marketing it better and better.
Not on the same thing, but as a brand, potentially you have to keep doing something new for the consumer. Look, it depends. I don't want to say it as a blanket statement, but what I've seen is that if you fail to innovate, products can die, right? Doesn't mean I'll take the same product that's selling and have to change that. But there can always be things that you do to create excitement above and below that. So for example, we also launched minis, right? Now that solves a different customer need state, which is I want that only 2-3 bites of a sweet craving salt. So this solves for that. It's not a full 10-gram heavy protein bar, right? So I think as a brand, I believe that we need to keep the innovation cycle going and be very mindful of what the customer is expecting from us, and then keep going one up above that. So we have to create that delight. So I'll share how this converts. So when we launched like a new variant in the protein wafer, So let's say we launch a cookies and cream or the minis. We have north of 50-60% of the existing base on D2C alone that comes back to try this. Why is that? Because we've captured their imagination with product A and now they like it. So they're like, okay, I'm interested in knowing what this brand is going to do next. So you have my attention and
Take my money.
Take my money. Take my money.
So how fast are you growing month on month right now? Because it seems like you, in 1 year, you've reached a point which brands usually take 5 years because you're across everywhere. You're selling your own website, quick commerce, you're also on physical outlets. So you're as good as a very mature brand today, like apart from the IPL ads maybe.
Look, I think we have a long way to go, but now we're moving in that direction. So earlier, for example, it was me saying, no, I think we'll be able to sell 6 lakh units, so let's make 6 lakh. But now we have some data. We know what we're capable of, what we're not capable of. What impact will I get if I do marketing or not do marketing? So now there's some kind of sense we can make of all these things, right? So in that sense, yes, we've become a little bit more mature as a company. But that's regardless of the scale. Even if that 200 crores was 150 or 300, I'd say the same thing in a sense, right? So I keep saying this, which is that we are now getting better at the least sexy part of the business, which is the back end. But the back end of the business is the backbone. Without that, brand is all irrelevant.
It's all a supply chain optimization.
Supply chain, warehouse management, demand forecasting, that whole planning cycle, cost optimization.
But today in India, aren't all of these infrastructure already set up by marketplaces and quick commerce platforms who are already setting up all of these supply chain infrastructure? You just have to partner with them and they sell it for you.
Before launch, I thought it was that simple. And I realized that was a big mistake. Look, at the end of the day, this is an organizational capability that everyone has to build. Nobody can build this for you. No third party can do this for you.
No, because in my head, I thought my job is done once I'm listed on the marketplace because they'll take care of the delivery, no?
So think of it like this. They'll take care of the delivery to the end customer.
Correct.
So quick commerce or Blinkit will take care of the delivery to the customer, right? But my capability of maintaining inventory for Blinkit, forecasting what they're going to require next month, supplying to all their purchase orders on time in full. Again, I think it's sounding a little simple, but I can't explain to you why it's so complex.
So if you are Blinkit, you tell me I want 10,000 units every month. I just make 10,000 units.
But it's never just like that, right? So for example, today it's 10,000. Tomorrow, let's say it's Diwali. Now Diwali, there might be a large bump or a drop. So then you've got to plan for that. Sometimes.
But you can look at last year's data and predict, no?
It's been a year for us. So that's what I mean. Now with time, we've gotten better. We've gotten a little mature. We've faced the 12 months. So we know how certain ones behave. We've gone through one cycle. So for example, we've seen that on festive days, consumption for health products actually drops. So December, as an example, people are a little bit more free.
Correct.
They're like, nahi yaar, theek hai. I'll start in Jan. It's fine. Let me indulge. December is the month to indulge. Right? So then we may face a slight drop. But for a certain product, because you're starting a new channel or something, you might face a slight increase. So we started with 4 SKUs. SKU is every single unit. So protein wafers, 1 product. Chocolate flavors, 1 SKU. Strawberry flavors, 1 SKU. So like that, we had only 4.
Of the protein wafer.
Of the
4 different variants.
Today, we're operating with 50 SKUs. So now in the protein powder, there's a large pack. So there's a 1 kg, there's a 500 gram, there's a sachet, single serve. That into the number of flavors. Right? Now, one channel wants this because 1 kg sells the best there. Quick commerce may say, no, I want a smaller pack because this sells the best here. Now, so managing that whole ecosystem is what is not easy, but you have to build that skill set internally.
So let's talk about some new innovation that you're currently doing. You got this product here. Can we get that, please? Thank you. So this is fermented yeast protein.
Yeah.
So this is a new product that you recently launched.
Yeah.
So now this protein powder has been really popular in the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Starting off, I start off with Muscle Blaze, then you go to On, premium protein, which is the highest quality, as they say. But all of those things, like, didn't really suit my gut.
Yeah.
I think you also know this guy, Food Farmer.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. He launched this product called
Only what's
needed, right? And he sent it to me. I loved it, right? Very light on my stomach, and I'm having it every day. What is special about this, right? Like, can you tell me a little bit about this? I've never even heard of this thing called yeast protein.
Yeah. So I think the way to think of this is there's multiple food. Right? Yes. For you to try it. There's multiple food technologies that exist. And like technology in any space, technology keeps evolving, right? So there is this new technology that's been developed, which is known as fermentation. And it has two streams. One is precision fermentation and one is biofermentation. Precision fermentation is really, really cool, where people have been able to create, let's say, coffee without the coffee bean, chocolate without the cocoa bean.
What do you say?
Yeah. And dairy without the cow. So they've been able to take a molecule from the DNA from a cow, apply that to a single cell organism like a yeast or anything else.
Okay.
And then ferment that in large tanks and convert that to the end molecule of dairy, for example.
Okay.
Right. And that is precision fermented dairy. Right.
Okay.
So you've not used the cow. There's multiple reasons why people are working on
version of it.
Exactly. So this is not that. This is biofermented.
Okay.
Right. Which is basically not taking anything else's DNA or anything like that. This is just taking yeast. People have realized that, mini but mighty. So yeast is rich in protein. You are able to now, at a commercial scale, put that into a large fermentation tank, ferment the product, create a biomass. That biomass is very rich in protein. And people have been able to figure out how to extract the protein from this. So that's the product. Now, why do all of this, right? So I think there's 2-3 reasons. So one is this is vegan, but it's got the same efficacy of whey protein.
Okay.
Right? So it's much lighter on the gut. Just feels lighter to consume as well. And that's the feedback that we've gotten from consumers also.
When did you launch this?
We launched this about 4 months ago.
So per 100 gram, there is 67 grams of protein.
Yeah.
Is that the usual?
67, varies on flavors, I guess, but 67 to 69. In protein powders, that ranges anywhere between 67 to like 75 or something like that. In flavored. In unflavored, that number goes high because there's nothing else. So that's one.
So are you the first ones to launch something like this in India?
First ones to launch this in India.
So you've been working on this. So that's the thing, right? Like a lot of people think, okay, SuperYou 1 year back it launched. But how many years before that you've been working on it?
I'd say like a year and a half easy.
Wow.
But it's the 12 years of FMCG experience that's really helped me put the pieces of the puzzle together.
So it's actually like a 2.5 year journey in terms of actual start point.
Yeah.
But in terms of the foundations, which was built 12 years back.
Yeah.
Okay. So coming back to this, you're saying that this is a new kind of protein, higher efficacy. How is it better than?
Similar efficacy to whey.
Okay.
You measure efficacy on a PDCAS score.
So this is for people who want vegan.
If you want vegan.
So some people can't handle whey.
Correct.
Okay.
Some people can't handle lactose and whey doesn't suit them.
How do I know? Because India is such a dairy consumption country.
So you'll come to know. So people who consume whey, if they feel the gut discomfort or, they can't digest it well.
Which means I think I have it because I could not have the normal, the premium, the on and all, which was considered to be the highest quality and the most expensive. I bought it.
Yeah.
Right. I was going to the gym. I was like, what is the best? What is the most expensive? I asked the gym trainer. He's like, go for the on brand.
Yeah.
I bought this big bottle, had 2-3 scoops. My appetite is gone after that. Right. So I stopped eating that. Then I tried the recent, my friend Food Farmer's brand, Only What's Needed. That is great. That's also whey. So what is that difference? Why is that happening?
Okay. So look, let me explain the full picture to you, right? So number one is whey is a great source of protein. There's nothing wrong with it per se as a source of protein, right? It's a very good source. To some people, they're not able to digest lactose, right? Lactose is the sugar in whey protein, right? And because of that, you feel this gut discomfort, etc. There's many technical parts of this, but again, I'm going to not get into that. Essentially, what happens is Because of those reasons, if you are not able to digest it, you'll feel some kind of discomfort and hence want to try something that's got no lactose. That comes to vegan. Now in vegan protein, there are actually hundreds of sources of protein. What you might be familiar with will be only pea protein and brown rice, and people now use a combination of that.
Yeah.
That's also a good source of protein. Just that the taste is not as good. So that market has not taken off completely. It's got a slightly granular, grainy texture. It's not the best tasting. And finally, consumers care a lot about taste. So for those reasons, it's not really taken off, right? Why I was particularly excited by this technology and bringing it to India was because I felt it married the two. So it's vegan. It's completely whenever you try it, you can tell me. I'll obviously
Does
be
it have
biased.
sugar?
No. We use only monk fruit. So no sugars.
It's written 1.4 grams.
So that is the sugars that come from natural ingredients.
For every 100 grams, there's like 1.
There's no added sugar.
Okay.
And it's the least actually.
Added sugar is 0, yes.
Yeah. So we use only monk fruit, nothing else. As a sweetener in this. And monk fruit is 0 calorie.
Okay.
So 0 blood glucose spike as well.
So like high quality sweetening ingredients.
Yeah. Very, very high quality. And I think why I was excited by this was because it had high efficacy and was very, very neutral on taste and texture. So with flavor, etc., it would feel like you're drinking a whey protein. And it also genuinely felt much lighter for me. So when I was training for HYROX, we were talking about this. I was having 2 shakes a day. And I couldn't do that.
Can you explain what is HYROX to people over here?
It's a fitness competition.
Okay.
Which is made to be perfectly aesthetic for Instagram. And that's why it's gone crazy. But yeah, in a sense, it's a fitness competition where it tests muscle endurance as well. So it's not just running and it's not just weights. It's running plus strength. So it's a test that combines both.
And is that they give you a rank or a score for this?
So they give you a score, but it's like a marathon. So you're competing with yourself.
How long do you have to run?
So I did my first one as in doubles. So we did it in 1 hour, 27 minutes, which
doubles
was
means you split the tasks.
So the running, both people have to do fully. The stations where you have 8 exercises to do, that you can split in any order.
Okay.
But the running, both of you have to do together.
You guys did it in 1 hour?
27 minutes.
That puts you in the top percentile or something?
No, not percentile for sure.
Okay. Because I saw a post of Nithin Kamath recently.
Yeah.
He was like in his age category, he came
Nithin is a beast.
Third or something.
So Nithin's an absolute beast. I did my first one, doubles, 1 hour 27. He did singles, 1 hour 27.
Wow.
So what he did was double the work, 0 rest.
Okay.
Because when my partner's doing the work or at a station, I'm actually getting rest as well.
Okay.
What he did was not twice as hard, like 4 times, 5 times harder. Because and he did it in the same time. So he's an absolute beast.
And he's in his mid-40s.
Yeah. He's next level with this, right? And consistency. He's been so passionate about fitness for years.
Yeah.
And that shows now.
Right. So you kind of finished it.
Yeah. And I did it. I was happy.
And you also had a couple of these drinks while you did it.
Yeah. While training for it.
It takes time to train for this? How much time do you train?
I didn't give myself enough time. I trained only for like 4 weeks. But this time I'm doing in April and I'm giving myself 4 months to train for it because I want to do it well. But the idea, just coming back to this, was I couldn't have 2 shakes of whey. It wasn't sitting well with me.
Yeah.
And then I did it. But I will reiterate, it's not like we have anything against whey. Whey is a great source of protein. This is also a great source of protein. I was excited, and under SuperYou, I want to build innovative, cool new products for the market and not just the same this thing.
How do brands get away with the food industry where they are selling junk and they're saying this is good for your health? Like, for example, in my industry, in fintech, I'm licensed with SEBI. Every ad I make, I have to get an approval from SEBI. I have to submit it. They will view it, have 100 questions. 2 months later, I get an approval. They're like, now you run. By then, the campaign is old. It's late.
Yeah. So again, I just like to add that I don't think it's only cases of saying junk and good for your health. It's also cases of like saying this is a butter biscuit, but it doesn't have butter or whatever, right? It's like, I think it's mislabeling. That's the larger challenge. See, there's multiple POVs to this. I think because of good folks like Revant, there's been so much awareness now that even the governing bodies like FSSAI and all have started taking very strict measures to make sure that the consumer has transparency, which is great. And I think they're all doing a great job of it, right? So I think slowly that's coming in. Now, why that was the case is because there are many loopholes. Not everything in life is so black and white, right? There's a lot of gray. Like we were discussing
that because I grew up looking at Sachin Tendulkar, right? I'm like, Sachin is promoting it, I'm drinking. Every day I drank. If I was that same kid today, and if I watched food farmer videos, I'm not touching that, right? Like, I disagree that they did their best, so it's a gray area. I look at it as black and white. You, like, in our industry, you can't get a celebrity and sell a mutual fund. Like, mutual fund sahi hai, the industry gave only approval for Sachin and Dhoni recently, right? Nobody else got that approval because no celebrity is supposed to come and promote a false product. But in the food industry, when brands like, I would never touch those brands right now. So I disagree. It should have been, never been.
So there are certain cases like this, right? And then there are certain cases where, so let's say tomato ketchup. It has lesser tomato and more of something else.
Yeah.
Now that is like from a marketing POV to call it tomato ketchup, should you call it pumpkin ketchup? What should you call it? Should you call it tomato pumpkin ketchup? What I mean is there are certain aspects where it's gray and certain aspects, yes, even I agree with you. Selling something with like 30, 35%, 40% sugar and saying it's healthy. No, that's not extremely healthy from any means, right? So I think those are things that now FSSAI has also started working on and making sure that brands can't operate in the same way. So there are so many changes that you're seeing happen also. And look, finally, this is an industry. Like I come from the view that I don't want to put anyone down. I think that we have to make awareness of things. And then if you're part of the ecosystem, work with everyone in the ecosystem to be part of that change, right? And to make that change happen. So it's not about this brand is bad because they do this. There's awareness now that whatever this brand is doing, they're going to be held accountable for it. So you should know that. And the brand should have fear about that so that they don't do this, right? But I think we have to work like governing bodies, brands, all people in the ecosystem have to work together.
If you ask me, I don't think they care because they're making 10,000, 20,000 crores a year. They have huge legal teams. Even if some case comes against them, they'll just settle it for 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs.
No, I disagree.
You think they're making a change?
Because, see, every brand cares only about one thing. Consumer.
Okay.
The moment it starts reflecting. So, for example, no, because profit is an output. It's not an input. The profit is there today. It could go tomorrow like this. It's like BlackBerry. Same example. It could go tomorrow, right? But my point being that I do think that brands listen to consumers. Consumers have the ability to choose what they'd like to buy. So it's a perfectly competitive market. If consumer doesn't want to consume Maggie, Maggie will come to know.
No, I will tell you the way I look at it. Is that, see, companies like you guys are coming and changing the game because you saw the gap. The gap is that the incumbent players, the legacy players, are not doing things like this because they thought this is too expensive and there's not a big enough market. Now you guys have come in and created a market for yourself, created a new category for the rising affluent Indians, which is fast growing, right? So you've created a category for yourself. Now, the masses will still not be able to do this because, see, no matter how good your supply chain is, you can't, what is the price of this? 1,200 rupees, right? Top 5% of India will be able to afford this. Most people will not buy this, right? They will not buy this. We were talking about atta earlier. There is now protein atta. I thought 1,000 rupees for 5 kg protein atta is cheap because I didn't know what is the actual price of atta. You told me it is 50 rupees per kg.
Yeah.
Now, can protein atta be created at 50 rupees per kg? Maybe not. But a big brand could probably pull it off by figuring out their supply chain, doing all of these things, but they'll probably not do it because it's too much effort, too much of hard work to figure out all those things.
No, but Sharan, I disagree a little bit there. See, they've not done it till now doesn't mean they won't do it in the future. Why? Because they're seeing proof that consumer wants it. The consumer choosing a SuperYou or, like you said, OWN, Revan's brand, Food Farmer's brand, is proof that the consumer is making different choices, right? And if the consumer is making these choices, these brands will wake up. You're right. This may not impact the other 40,000 crore portfolio
Correct.
or the other 20,000 crore portfolio, because that's still like, multiple, you need a product at a certain price point, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But the brands that they're building, if they need to have future focus, they will come in this direction. And that's why you also see sometimes the companies may not be able to do it themselves, large companies, but that's why they acquire.
I was just talking to a marketer recently. We were just talking about, what food farmer is doing in terms of educating the audience. Is like, bro, listen, when you look at a 5 rupees biscuit packet, 5 rupees is the price that the audience wants, the masses want, otherwise they can't afford it, they won't buy it. What do you think is the cost of making that 5 rupees biscuit packet? I'm like, probably 2-3 rupees. He's like, it is in paisas, right? In terms of making that whole biscuit packet, it'll be in paisas. Otherwise, they will not be able to make profitable on it because their cost after that is too high in terms of distributing it and all of that. And they're obviously not selling it they're not getting 5 rupees in their pocket, right? They're selling it to a distributor, and the distributor has their own margins. So at the end of it, they end up with a 7-8% profit margin, even after, doing it with shit ingredients. So if they start bringing in premium ingredients, this 5 rupees packet won't remain 5 rupees packet. So wanted to understand what is the COGS percentage for you in your product? Because for me, based on listening to this, higher the COGS percentage, more premium is the quality of the product. Because I know that I'm paying for the product that I'm consuming, not for the marketing and the distribution.
That's a very bad way to look at it. And
Okay.
I fully disagree.
Okay.
All the businesses that you've named, they're all in this to make a profit, right? Everyone is doing this as a for-profit business, even on paper, right? And in spirit. So the point is that as a business, you have to find innovative ways of delivering high-quality product
At low cost.
at affordable price for consumer and maintaining cost. That's the whole challenge. And the people who do that the best will win the game. So as a business, I find it bizarre to say that I will work at very, very high COGS because it's a signal of premium ingredients. It's not alone a signal of premium ingredients.
Got it.
Let me ask you something interesting.
Sure.
What's healthier? You answer this.
Okay.
What's healthier between refined sugar and unrefined sugar?
I think they're both the same in terms of bad for health.
So most people would say unrefined sugar is better,
Huh.
right? Then the question comes down to how much better. Now tell me the difference between sugar, refined sugar and Jaggery.
No, I think both are bad. It's just that Jaggery is considered an Indian homemade product. So it's considered to be healthy, but it's not. In terms of glycemic index spikes, it causes the same problem.
Now my point is, in all of these places, this is where grey comes in. You're saying it's not healthy because why? Because GI. No. because of glycemic index and the fact that it's still got as many calories.
What happened? I told him, bro, I discovered this new thing called Whole Truth back then when it was new. He's like, oh, nice. What are the ingredients? They only have this dates and Jaggery and all they put. They don't put sugar. He's like, bro, that's not how it works. It has the same bad effects as normal sugar. I'm like, my whole world changed that day.
Point being that to some people, Jaggery is better because it's less processed. So factually, is that the correct statement? Yes, it is less processed.
But
the question is, how much? It's minuscule. Does Jaggery have slightly more amount of minerals than refined sugar? Refined sugar has 0, I think. Yes, it does. But it's trace minerals. It's barely available. It's not like, oh, because this is Jaggery, I should just eat any amount of it, right? So I think there's a lot of misconceptions that still exist today. Because like I told you, customers don't operate only rationally all the time, right? So that in itself tells you that, okay, look, you can use certain ingredients, not just because of cost, but primarily because of the way the ingredient is designed. So Jaggery is more hygroscopic in nature, right? So it attracts more water, which makes it difficult to make products with Jaggery. So that's why you don't have so many products. Because if it attracts moisture, it gets hard, it'll become dry. So there's a brand in the US, it's called David. I don't know
David.
David.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like David of coffee.
Yeah. First part.
Okay.
David. And it's created by, it's backed by Andrew Huberman.
Okay.
And Andrew Huberman is known to be the guru of
Health in US.
health and nutrition and things like that, right?
Yeah.
David would get murdered if it came to India.
What?
Because it uses palm oil,
Okay.
right? And it has all these other ingredients
Huh.
that, let's say, some people in India would say, no, this is bad because we've heard this is bad.
I think
Because
palm oil is destroyed forever in it.
No, because there's a lot of fear mongering that's been done around these things. I think you can't take blanket views to everything in life. That's my personal POV. We don't use palm oil in our products, just to be clear. But I think it's wrong to villainize everything. I mean, it makes for great content and that content travels. So I get why people do it. But I think that there is a certain amount of science behind certain ingredients. It's helpful to understand why a certain ingredient is good and why it's not. But not everyone's going to take the time out to do that, right?
What I've heard is that celebs, when they have a urge to drink, but they know that it affects how they look and their performance, they go for this Don Julio tequila because it's like very smooth. And if they want to do it regularly, they will go for like red wine because it's good for skin. What does your research say? Is this true?
Look, I think many people have their own views that they've built around this. So I know that wine people say is better than others, but it's still alcohol at the end of the day. So again, it's better than, but not ideal to be consuming, etc. And even in the rest, it kind of comes down to like moderation and balance is the key for me. So if you're binging, then even tequila is not good. And if you're drinking like twice a week and everything, then that's definitely not good, no matter how good quality the alcohol is, right? But again, if you do it in moderation, like once in a while here and there, then it doesn't really matter. Because it's more about your overall lifestyle choices that you make, right? Like I was telling you, for example, you'd see people talking about, forget alcohol, like you'd see people talking about saying, hey, I eat clean while smoking a cigarette. I'm like, dude, what the hell? You like smoking cigarette in any amount is not good for you. And anyone who smokes it should accept it, right? But I'm not saying you have to do everything that's only healthy for you. It's your life. You live it however you want.
Right.
And people have their own free will. So, but they should know, okay, look, this is not some counterbalancing activity. Cigarette smoking is unhealthy. And you have to live with the fact that it's unhealthy. So you can't say, like for me, cigarette smoking is like number one sin, more than alcohol as well. It's the worst thing you can do for your body.
Cool. So now let's go to the rapid fire round. Let's
do
bust
it.
some myths. All right. This is a very common myth. Protein is only for men or for people who go to the gym regularly.
It's fully false.
Yeah.
Look, I think what people have not understood is protein is a macronutrient. It's an absolute truth. So like protein, carbs and fats, all three are truths, right? You need all of them in the right balance, right? So you need a good amount of protein. Indian diets lack it, and hence you anyway need that. Protein is important for 100 million things, like your hair, skin, just basic maintenance and repair work in your body, right? Like us sitting now is also using our muscles in some form, by the way.
But then there are some kind of people who say if you have protein directly, it affects your kidney. How true or false is that?
No, so I don't think it's true. I think it's false.
But there are people who say that, right?
The problem there, there are some people who say that. The problem there is if you just don't have sufficient water. But if you don't have sufficient water, your kidney is anyway going to struggle. So the problem there is not got anything to do with protein. It's got to do with water consumption. And you should have a good amount of water.
Plant or vegan protein is less effective than animal protein.
Not entirely true. Because on that scale of PDCAS, certain plant proteins have a lower efficacy, lower score. But what a lot of people do is they mix different sources so that the amino acid profile that the customer gets eventually is more or less equal. But I think it's that only, that if you want to optimize for every single thing, then sure. But otherwise,
it's not a big difference. Also.
Like for people like you and me who aren't trying to be athletes, it's not going to make that much of a difference.
Got it. Protein-rich foods are very expensive, just a marketing gimmick. What would you say to that?
They're very expensive. Our products aren't expensive.
No, but like 1,200 rupees for protein powder, if I consider the prices of India.
So look, expensive is all relative, right? It's hard to say expensive blanket. So our protein powders amongst the best priced protein powders in the market, right? So cheaper than whey protein as well, and so on and so forth. So in that sense, it's inexpensive. Protein powder as a category, it's an expensive ingredient. So yes, to some people, it may not be a good enough, an affordable ingredient to bring into their daily lives.
Because I will tell you another narrative I've heard. They're like, you don't need to consume extra protein because your food has enough. And this protein, needing protein as a part of your diet is a fad. You just need like sufficient amount of carbs and fiber, and protein, whatever you get in it is enough. Like that's what some people think like that even today. And I've spoken to such people. They're like, all of this is Western propaganda to sell milk and cows. You don't need protein. You just need carbs and fiber. India is a vegetarian country diet. All of this is a fad.
Yeah, so I strongly disagree with that. I think that there's enough science and not opinions on why protein is an important macronutrient. Doesn't make carbs less important or fats less important, or doesn't villainize carbs and fats. But protein is important. The truth is the average Indian diet, right, is not as protein efficient, right? So in that case, use a supplement. That's why it's called a supplement. So protein powder is not for everyone. You don't have to take it. If you eat right and you get in a good amount of protein, if you're eating paneer, or if you're non-vegetarian, eating a good amount of chicken or whatever other great sources of protein there are, then that's okay. Then you don't need this. And also depends on protein goals, right? So let's say if I'm trying to build a body or compete in something or whatever, then I want to get that additional amount of protein because my body needs the recovery, right? But if I don't, then 60, 70 grams, that 0.8 to 1 gram per kg of body weight, that's good enough. And if you're getting that from your food, then please don't consume anything else. But if you're not, then why not? Right? And also the other side to this is like, if you look at the snacking landscape, most of those foods are over-indexed on carbs and fats, extremely under-indexed on protein. What we're trying to do is we're trying to create balance in the macronutrients. We're not trying to say that you should eat things only with protein. But if you were going to eat chips that only have carbs and fats, very high carbs, very high fats, zero protein, why not just eat something that has medium amount of carbs, medium amount or low amount of fats, and a good amount of medium amount of protein? Why not? If I still deliver on taste and things like that, right? So that's the way I see it. I'm not on this propaganda of saying, listen, you have to consume 100 grams of protein, otherwise this will happen to your life and Mercury will go into retrograde. None of that stuff, right? But I think it's good to eat a well-balanced nutritional profile.
Perfect. I think on that note, let's end the conversation, Nikunj.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much,
man. Nikunj. I think I learned a lot today. I will definitely try your products.
Yeah.
And I will get back to you to order more.
Please do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. This was a good one.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed
conversation.
Before you go, guys, if this episode gave you even one insight that made you think differently about money, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with your friend or family member who could use it too. And if it sparked a new thought or even made you disagree with me, drop a comment below and tell me why. Your critique helps me make these conversations sharper and more useful for you. As long as you have me subscribed, I'll make sure that you walk away with at least one new thing every Wednesday.